Hello everyone, welcome back to ACL Stands. In this episode, what I'm going to do is convert this old awesome looking Quickshot QS-201 joystick 15 pin old style. I'm going to be using a Leonardo Pro micro board for this. I've got one of these little breakout boxes here, DB15. All links in the description for all this stuff. Going to need some wires, have a soldering gun obviously. Now got some 100k ohm resistors and 100k ohm resistors and some 10k ohm resistors. A pinout diagram here, a schematic here of the DB15 output and how this is going to connect to Leonardo Pro micro board. So we're going to need 5 volts to power this thing. If we have a look on our pin out here, we can see it's 5 volts is pin 1. On the Pro micro board, just ignore the blue and the black wire that's already on this board. What we want here is the red wire, and what I've done here is soldered the VCC on the Pro micro here. This is going to be our 5 volts. If we have a look on these little breakout boards, you can see it's got all the numbers, so it's really easy to just connect it. We're going to just hook up the X and the Y axis on this, and if we have a look at the pin out here, we can see the AX potentiometer is on pin 3. If we look at the schematic here, we can see pin 3 comes out, goes around. There's our analog connection here. Our resistor 1 is a 100k resistor, and then it goes down to ground. And I'll put the links to where I found all this stuff here. It's built-to-spec.com. The way this works is it'll need to go firstly connect to an analog on the Pro micro board. So I've connected the blue wire here, we're connected to A0 on the Pro micro board. That runs to a 100k resistor, which is at the end here, and then I've wired in a black wire as well here that runs to the ground. Quick look at that. Again, the red from the VCC, the black wire here coming from the ground comes out to the 100k resistor and analog 0. This blue wire comes out and connects to that 100k resistor as well, and we want to make sure that when we put this in, we want the blue wire to be inserted into the pin 3. Just again, pin 3 there, AX potentiometer. So what we're going to do now is set up the Y potentiometer in a similar to a setup as this. We're going to use that same ground. I'll show you how to do that. Wire up, use a piece of orange wire here, and I want this to be on A1. I'm going to put this from underneath the board, solder it on top here, because I want this to sort of fit on top here. And I'm going to clean all this up at the end, but this is just a quick video. So I'm going to, A1, I'm just going to solder that up. So yeah, really handy. Now I know you can get the Rockfire USB connectors now, and they're coming down in price. So I remember they used to be like, $30 something, but now I think you can get them for about $20. Like I said, you can make this yourself, and it's more customizable if you do it like this, because you can always add buttons or another potentiometer here. You can see here it actually has a room here for another potentiometer on 11 here, and also on 13, and as well as some buttons here, but this can take more buttons. So if you wanted to, you could even add buttons to your joystick. Put some more buttons on here, maybe add another slider or whatever you want to do. You can connect it all to the Pro micro. But really a lot of room there for options. Now also don't forget to tin the leads too. Now I forgot to do that on those other ones, but I think I'm gonna, like I said, pull a lot of this apart and start again, because I need to tidy this all up for my setup. I'm just going to backtrack a little bit here, because I can connect it up. The blue one here is the A0 and this is the A1. What I could do here is just use the black wire, which is the ground wire, to connect both of these. So if I was to just connect these 2 resistors here, would need to be connected like this. Then we could just plug in the 2 wires. I think that's what I'm going to have to do here. I probably shouldn't have cut as much as I did off that other one. That should be okay. I think I should have enough room there to fit that in. Then we can just connect the ground wire straight onto this. Now this is kind of a bodgy setup the way I've got this, but what we got now here is you can see you should have the blue wire here is connected to A0. you'll have this orange wire here which is connected to A1. So we have the potentiometer X, potentiometer Y. Now we've got the 200k resistors on each one of those wires there, analog wires, and then it's going to come in to the ground, and then the ground is going to be connected to the Pro Micro board here, and also going to have, we've got the 5 volt there. We can plug this all in now into our box here, be able to take this over to the PC there and have a look at some code and see if we can get the X and the Y communicating. You could actually put the Pro Micro inside the joystick if you wanted to do it. I don't really want to open my joystick up, so this is kind of why I've just gone with this option. So this is another way to do it. You will need to obviously clean things up a little bit. I'm going to take this over to the my laptop over there and connect it up to the USB. Okay, so this is pretty crude how I've got this set up here, but you can see I've got the joystick plugged into the breakout box here. It was connected up with a USB plug here into the PC. One of the issues that I had, I uploaded this code, was that the joystick was inverted. So what I needed to do was actually change a little bit of the code. The set axis range and the set Y axis range. When I moved the joystick forward, it went backwards. When I moved it backwards, it went forwards. Left, right, right, left. The joystick library code uses 1023 and then 0. And what I had to do then was just reverse that. So instead of having 0 to 1023, I just reversed that 1023 to 0. I've uploaded the code. Now if we go into our Leonardo board here and go to the game controller settings, I've just calibrated this, and I'll just come in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. We can see I'm moving my joystick forward. You can see there's movement there, pulling back. It's pulling back, left and right. So that is working perfectly. I have to look at getting the 2 red buttons here done. So I'm going to take this back over to the bench and we're going to work out how to do the buttons. The other 2 buttons I'm not really concerned about. The potentiometer here for the throttle is something that I'll look at in another video. If we have a look here, we've got pin 2 that comes out, goes to digital pin here that has 10k and goes to the 5 volt. Well, the 5 volt is supplied through the VCC here, so that's taken care of. So what I have to do is just connect pin 2 on the Pro Micro. So you can see I've just connected a yellow connection here, and I've got a 10k resistor on the end of that, and that's just plugged into, connected into number 2. And I'll have to do another one for pin 7. What we'll need to also do here is we need to complete that circuit for the button. So we'll need to have a ground connections. So we have pin 4 and pin 5 as a ground. I can use any of those. If we just connect pin 4 out here, and we'll connect that to the ground pins on the Pro Micro. So we've got the yellow one connected up. This pin 2 on the Pro Micro running into pin 2 on the breakout connector here, and I'll just connect up a ground now from the pin 4 and connect it to a ground. You might notice this one is actually broken. This was the AX potentiometer. So yeah, these wires that I've used here are really crap wires, so like I said, I'm going to have to go back and do all this again. And also I'm going to do the other button as well, and that'll be on pin 7. So we need pin 7, and we'll need another, and the ground as well connected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this because these wires are all crap, and then I can come back and show you the finished product. Then I can take it over and test it. I quickly tested this button here. It's working, so everything's functioning as it should. Okay, so here it is, the finished product. I've gone through and just pretty much started all over again. That should fit in quite nicely in there, and should be able to close that up like this, and there we go. I'm going to take this over to the laptop there, just see that, make sure everything's working. What I've decided to do was use the TX and RX pins here, which is pin 0 and pin 1. This one does fit okay, but it is a little bit loose, how that fits in there. This is just really just to test it out. Just going to go to properties here, and I'm just going to look at this. Got forward, backwards now, and these are operating now how it should in the code. We have the top button here, which is button 1, and button 2 here. And if you want, you can change those buttons around in the code. That's really all there is to it. So I'm going to take this upstairs now, connect it up to a modern retro computer, play a little bit of my favourite flight sim. The joystick is working in DOSBox. So there we go, that's Arduino project is working well, just to be operating how it should. A 15 pin converted to USB with the Pro Micro board. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Stay safe, and as always, I'll see you on the next project.